Would you ever make pornographic content? I have with your mom, but it's just for our own personal consumption. Oh, by the way, I've blasted off, so let's get started. I blasted off. The Patriot post that you sent me is just straight racism. I covered it yesterday, the Charlie Kirk racist post. Anyway, here it is, folks. We're live. We are alive. We're gonna talk about Barbie. We're gonna talk about Barbie, the Barbussy, the controversy, the controversy. I am gonna be slay mothering. I'm gonna be mother quaking. I'm gonna be doing all of that. Okay. Here it is. We're blasting off, folks. Jon Stewart back at the Daily Show. Twitch revenue update. Barbie Oscars controversy. UAW conversation with Brandon. Ceasefire negotiations. New Hampshire W for Trump and more. The defund Israel Twitter account is just shredded fascist. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't even interact with that account at all, but I did see like Jon Stewart, not Stewart, whatever, dude. Who cares? Who's Jon Stewart? Shut up. Shut up. It's a fake last name anyway. Here, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Yeah, the Barbussy controversy. We're gonna talk about all of that. What was the notification on your phone? Oh, the notification on my phone was from Zachary Diaz, who used to work at Twitch. Old school DSA guy, San Francisco. Anyway, now works at OTK. This motherfucker is like, you saw that apparently there's a new Twitch revenue update, and I found out about this new revenue update from a dude that used to work at Twitch making fun of me because apparently Turkish. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Just hold on. I just like read a part of it, and immediately I was like, this is like, oh fuck, what is going on? Jake raid? Jake Weber 69 has raided you. What the hell? Hey, yo, okay. You lost weight since the last time you saw me? Yeah, that's probably because I shaved. Hello. Hello, Raiders. Welcome to the stream. You are right on time, actually. We just got done. We just got done with my personal news, and we're gonna get into the Twitch news. And the real world news. So hello, Jake Weber. I have a question for the Jake heads in the chat. Is Jake Weber like is he like a Twitch is he a TikTok guy before Twitch? Is that what it is? And now he's like popping on Twitch too? Is that what it is? Is that what's going on? Or has he always been like a YouTube guy? He's a YouTube guy, he's a silly guy. Okay, because I watched him eat a Prince Street pizza and I was like, I love Prince Street pizza. Jake Weber is the punk emo cool dude. Okay. Well, he was a YouTube guy before a TikTok guy. Because I have a suspicion that like Twitch is going to be overtaken by a lot of like TikTok guys that become Twitch streamers. A lot of people that go super viral on TikTok have a if they angle it towards Twitch, they do really well. Like KCO and Jinxie and even Kai and stuff. So there's like a big pipeline. Have some respect, young ma'am. Got off the press. The IL-76 cargo plane has been blown out of the sky. Russia blames Ukraine and blowing it up 65 of his own POWs. Yeah, I know. We're not going to talk about that yet. And I don't know what the actual situation is. All right, anyway. Slip this in there, but there is now a flat rate paid out to creators for Twitch Prime subscriptions per country. And the Turkish Twitch Prime subscriptions now pays out $0.09 per Prime sub, okay, which is kind of nutty. Like, at Hassan the Hun stands in shambles, he says, except the point is, I don't think I have a lot of Twitch Primes. Mama always needs their Diet Coke. Whatever daddy wants, daddy gets. I love Diet Coke. I don't know if these are lines or not, but 34 MKD 50 is going to destroy you. Well, 34 34 MKD50 is a Turkish gifter. He has been throwing pennies at me. It's a big deal for his own Turkish salary, but yeah, it technically comes down to like, it does come down to basically pennies on my end, like quite literally. But he's not peppering Prime subs, so it don't even matter. How did it work before? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how it worked before. If someone had Prime in Turkey and they subscribed in Turkey with their Amazon Prime to avoid the top of the hour ad break, which comes to the top of every hour, obviously, of course, as you guys know, because at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break, and if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account or whatever it is adjusted to your country's currency. Before, I don't know what it would look like if a Turkish person subscribed with a Prime. I actually don't even know. Maybe someone in the chat could tell me. You have a typo in your title? Do I? I don't really care. It's fine. Don't Turkish viewers not see the ads anyway? Yeah, for the most part, Turkish viewers don't even see the ads. Because it just depends. Zam yaptılar amına koyayım. 40 lira $1'dan daha fazla. Artık ben başladığımda 9 lira mıydı? Neydi? Amele yanı. Okay. Check subs by country in the dashboard. You can do that? I didn't even know you could do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. %400 zamladılar. Turkey is like Argentina, but in the Middle East. You know what I mean? Sir, this is your job, lol. This is his job, by the way. Dude, yeah, I'm bad at that part of my job. I'm bad at most parts of my job. I'm only good at one thing, and that's just like sitting in front of a camera and talking, okay? And yapping. That's it. I got a PhD in yaponomics. You feel me? That's it. I got nothing else going on for me. Do you understand? I'm just yapping away. All right, what do? I go to like overview. Is it revenue? Like, where would I find the geolocation of subscribers? Is it on community? No, it's on revenue earnings, maybe. No. Damn, but revenue is down, son. You are pretty good at fucking our mothers too. True. Yes, I'm gonna talk about Chaya Raichik in Oklahoma in a second. Bro, minored in yapology. That Otherworld pod hack goes so hard. Thank you. I don't know. It's really just above the chat as a viewer. No, that's not what we're talking about. New York Times comprehensive aerial imagery of Israel's destruction in Gaza updated today. All right, we'll look at that in a little bit. Let's start off with the Twitch thing. Mike from PA said you should do more debates to get your numbers up and how important your voice is. Yeah, maybe. So, all right. So Twitch comes out of the gates swinging with another adjustment. Okay, this time also for revenue. Turns out they are getting the Twitch revenue is getting an update. Okay, and I found out about this from Zachary Diaz, who's making fun of me and saying that the Prime subscriptions of a Turkish person are worth 0.9. Like, it's just worth 9 cents. Okay, you should make amends with Galen Druk. What the? That bait hurt as much as you hurt Galen Druk fans. Are you good at reconciling with Galen Druk? Is this like Galen Druk in your mouth or something? What is that? Who's Galen Druk? That's a crazy name. Like, it sounds like big fan, dude. You're going to make 20% more money, though, so it's whatever. I don't think this touches anything for me. An update to several streamer payout programs. Streamers and communities you build are the foundation of Twitch. We understand the important role the revenue you earn from streaming plays in each of our lives. Our goal is to provide a revenue model that is rewarding and easy to understand while also being sustainable in the long run. We have 3 announcements today that build on changes we have made over the last year. These changes aim to create a long-term transparent framework for streamer compensation that rewards and encourages creators who are committed to live streaming. Expanding the Partner Plus program to give more streamers access to increased net revenue shares on paid and gifted subs. Eliminating the 100K cap. Oh, this is good. Yeah, this was in the works for a while. This was in the works for a while. Oh, Galen Drew is the 538 guy that I was making fun of, and I said he looks like Will Stansel. Okay, that makes sense. The guy that looks like Tintin. I love that guy. He's awesome. I have no issues with him. What do you mean? Justice for Galen Drew heads. What would I apologize for? For saying he's swagged out? Eliminating 100K cap for 70-30 revenue share recipients. Changing the Prime Gaming subscription payout model to a fixed rate for each country. Plato 1507. Thank you for the 10 of the subs. So in October 2023, we launched the Partner Plus program that provides streamers with improved net revenue share on paid and gifted subs based on clear and objective criteria. Thousands of streamers have already qualified for Partner Plus, and starting May 1st, we'll be expanding the program in 3 ways. 1, we're adding a new level to the program to expand the benefits to a broader group of streamers. Streamers who maintain 100 plus points for 3 consecutive months will qualify for 60-40 net revenue on paid and gift subscriptions to their channel. We are reducing the plus points threshold for the 70-30 net revenue share level from 350 to 300. Like, none of this touches me, obviously, because I have like a old school, one of the last, like, I've always had like a weird contract, but I've always had like an old school contract. Sean won the Hidden Gem nom. Nice. Congratulations to Sean the Black. Dude, there were so many like members of this community that were up for Hidden Gem or like wanted to make an argument for being in Hidden Gem, and I do think that they're all hidden gems. Like, members of this community, people that I stream with regularly, you know what I mean? Fake award show, says Twitch Observer 69. Yeah, but congratulations, Sean. We'll look at all of once Cutie is done, we'll look at every single one of them. We are allowing affiliates to qualify when the Partner Plus program launched with a qualification of 350 points. It makes sense for the program to be partner only, as just about every streamer who would qualify was a partner. With the lower thresholds, more affiliates can qualify, and they deserve to be rewarded. So Partner Plus level 1, you get 60-40 rev share. Level 2, you get 70-30 rev share. I guess, and the point system works as such. Tier 1 subs mean 1 point. Tier 2 subs means 2 points, and Tier 3 subs means 6 points. So if you have 100 Tier 1 subs, you've now officially reached the level 1 partner platform. Therefore, you get a 60-40 revenue share. In total, this expansion will allow 3 times as many streamers to have premium net revenue share rates. For more information on the Plus program, you can visit the help page. They eliminated the 100K cap. Okay. That's good. The revenue share would revert from 70 to the standard rate of 50%. We received clear feedback that the 100K cap limited the earnings and growth opportunities for impacted streamers and served as a disincentive. This change is effective starting today. I don't know. They don't say what primes mean, so I guess primes mean nothing. I don't know. Changes the Prime Gaming subscription payout model. Since 2016, Twitch users who are also Amazon Prime members have been granted a monthly token that they can use to subscribe to their favorite Twitch channels, as you guys know. The program has evolved, and the monthly sub-token benefits is now part of the broader Prime Gaming benefit, which also includes free games. These Prime Gaming sub-tokens have been a supplemental source of revenue for many Twitch streamers and have given viewers a chance to enjoy subscriber benefits on Twitch without having to spend additional dollary dues. Prime Gaming is a close partner, sees tremendous value. When we first launched, we decided to make Prime Gaming subscription payouts the same as paid subscription payouts, which was great. Now they're not doing that. They're lowering it. To continue offering the benefits in a sustainable way, we are transitioning to a fixed rate model for Prime Gaming subs based upon the country of the subscriber. Oh, that's actually a huge L. Because, like, depending on where your Prime game, depending on where your Prime, like Twitch Prime is coming from, it goes from just a 3/13/2023 incident. What the hell is that? What? 3/13/20. You said a word? Swag? Okay, he's got CLM in his name. Okay, he's got CLM in his name. He's fucking gonna inevitably send me a E-Rob clip. Okay, the ogre clip. Just wait, it's coming. Okay, I will never apologize for being swagged out. All right. Creator dashboard revenue earnings. Wait, hold up. Creator dashboard revenue earnings subscribers view details. Revenue earnings. Where the fuck is revenue? I don't have it. I only have monetization, analytics, overview. Oh, revenue earnings. And then subscribers view details. What? How do I? Oh, view details. All right, let's see. Let's see. We have. I have 49,353 tier 1 subs, 98 tier 2 subs, and 62 tier 3 subs. Okay. But it doesn't, not enough data for us to display, it says, as far as like where the subscriptions are coming from. But we'll look at December. Subs by location, 76% are from the United States of America. 6% is from Canada. 4% is from Turkey. 3% is from the United Kingdom. 2% is from Germany. 1% is from Netherlands. 1% is from Australia. 1% is from Brazil. Less than 1% is from Armenia. Shouts out to my Armenian Hasanabi heads out there. Less than 1% Uruguay, Italy, Guatemala, China. What the fuck? And then the list goes on and on and on. So not a lot of this changes. Not a lot of this changes for me. However, what changes for me is the fact that the United States subscription has also been lowered. So basically, the fixed rate Prime Gaming will be effective June 3rd, 2024, and the rates can be found here. We plan to publish the rates annually with updates as required. For more streamers, this change will not have a major impact on the revenue, which is a lie. While any decrease will feel disappointing, the difference between what streamers receive today for a Prime Gaming subscription and what they will receive after the change to fixed rates less than 5% of the vast majority of countries. And to be clear, this difference only affects Prime Gaming subscriptions, which is only a portion of the streamer's overall revenue. How do I see what percentage is Prime Gaming for me? This is setting up the death of Twitch Prime subscriptions. I am definitely a little scared about that. Let's be real. It does seem like, they are lowering the Twitch Prime subscription payouts. I was deleted the first time on World Wide Web and it was not the official developer. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. They're scaling down huge on Prime Gaming. They laid off most of the people in PG November, including me. Amazon Gaming layoffs, Crown Content Channel. Yeah. This announcement is a weird mix of increasing payouts and reducing payouts. What's that about? Yeah. So the increasing the percentage that you make off of the revenue that you generate for the company is a good thing. It's a long time coming. The decrease on the Prime side, however, is not so good. Why is that not good? Well, it's not good because, that signals that there's definitely less people. There's definitely less interest. But yeah, I have more Prime subs, I have more Prime subs than I have regular paid subs, like regular tier 1 subs. Like, well, no, technically with the gifted and the multi-month gifted, I do end up having more, I guess. I do end up having more like regular subs, but it's like a 50-50 split almost. You know what I mean? My Prime sub is used on you each month, but do you benefit more from tier 1 versus Prime subs? Well, before, let's say all of my subscriptions, up until this very moment were in the United States of America. Okay. Let's say that every single person that subscribed with a Prime from the United States of America were subscribing to me. I would be getting, I guess, what, 250 in that situation, or like it's like a half and half split. I think that's how it works. Not entirely sure on the Prime side. A regular tier 1 is like a 70-30, but a Prime would be half, right? I think. Now it's going to be even less than that. Now it's going to be 225 instead of 250. DJ Clancy, it is roughly 230 right now. So now it'll be, what's up, DJ Clancy? The CEO is in the chat. So it is currently roughly 230 in the US. So every time someone subscribes with a Twitch Prime, I get $2.30. Now it'll be $2.25, I think, right? That's what it lowered to. It went from, where's the USA? What the hell? North America. United States, yeah, it goes down to 225. Same for Canada, same for Puerto Rico. I'm in Uruguay, but I have my Prime in the US. Was the conversion rate on that? Well, I don't know about that. All right, so yeah, that's the way it's gonna work. So some good stuff, and then other somewhat scary stuff as far as like any kind of revenue shift on the Prime side. Obviously, is going to be scary for streamers in general. It's understandable that it'll be scary for streamers in general, especially if it comes on the heels of like Amazon layoffs in general, Amazon back layoffs on the Twitch side, Amazon layoffs on the Crown side, Amazon layoffs on the Prime Gaming side. Any kind of watch the haters gloat that you were gonna make less money. Yeah, I don't care. These guys are insane. No one is always going to be on top permanently. Okay. So this is good. It's more sustainable. Sustainable Twitch can pay more people than a down the line closed down Twitch. But yeah, no, the 70-30, the 60-40 split, and then a 70-30 split, accessible to all is a good thing. So I think, given that primes are a little bit top heavy, even though it is like probably a more democratic way of trying to distribute revenue from Amazon directly in the hands of the consumer base to as many streamers as possible, basically what ends up happening is a good thing overall for many streamers. For some of the top streamers that have a shit ton of Prime subscriptions, they will see a marginal pay cut on their revenue because a lot of the top streamers get a lot of the Primes. Okay. What I'm afraid of more so is what this spells for, I guess, like Amazon's Amazon's interest on the continuation of the platform, and also, more importantly than the continuation of the platform, what this means for Twitch Prime, which of course is plays a major role, in my opinion, in the stability and making Twitch a favorable platform for content creators overall to consistently stream on. So, that's the biggest fear, is like the removal of Prime. That's something that a lot of people think is the worst possible scenario. If they remove Twitch Prime, then that's like a major source of revenue for especially a lot of the top Twitch streamers, but just Twitch streamers in general across the board. The CEO said Amazon really likes Twitch Prime because it drives engagement with the benefit. Yeah, I hope that they continue with it. So the 1K Andes will benefit more, and your loss of the 20K concurrent Andy is minimal. Yes, pretty much. That says the opposite. What reducing the amount creators get paid with Prime says that a lot of people were subbing with Prime. Agreed. We are not removing Twitch Prime. We just need to make it sustainable. I know, but like even a move towards sustainability means that like things aren't, great, right? Obviously it's like permanent growth under capitalism. So any deviation from permanent growth spells trouble for many people. Anyway, so that's like, this is why Kick is the GOAT. Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, definitely. W Kick. Good job, for sure. Cutie just roasted you for merch sales? Wait, why? What did I do? Just a tip. If you want to save some money without using Prime, you can buy Twitch gift cards through Target with the red card debit and save 5%. Not gonna lie, super disappointed that the camo bag was just normal camo and not the same as the rest of the line. Oh, well, we slapped the. Thanks for the merch endorsement. Cutie roasted you. She made a 9/11 joke in her merch commercial. What the fuck? What is going on here? What the hell is this? Anyway. What is this? Merch on sale now. Merch.thestreamerawards.com. This merch is hotter than September 11th. It's Hassan approved. What the fuck?
Made me not bald.
Even small streamers love them. Oh my god.
Buy merch.
That's crazy. Again! That's crazy. That's crazy. You fell for it? You gave her a free ad? What do you mean? She's my friend and also my co-host on my podcast. You think I don't want her to like actually have a sustainable award show? Like, what do you mean? I did. I got you baited. No! I fell for it. I'm such a fool. I'm telling you, she's in cahoots with the yard. Yeah, she's the inside player. Anyway. Hi, Hassan, Misha here. Can you please release a written statement regarding what rights Kaya has? If you're a real socialist, you should support her emancipation. Good one. I think Prime will stay, but not make any extra money for streamers in the future. Wait, first of all, Prime is a big source of revenue for Twitch streamers, chatters. It's a big source. Like I just told you that I generate more revenue from Prime subscriptions than I do on like direct tier 1 subscriptions. When you add gifted subs, the tier 1 subscriptions make more revenue, but overall, honestly, kind of disrespectful. Like Cutie's fam on the pod without her. That's funny. People got mad in our chat about the 9/11 joke. That's funny. All right. So, yeah. GXLD CPT Rick. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. So yeah, no, Prime is a huge benefit for streamers. Like streamers look at Prime as a major source of revenue, and that overall makes the platform more competitive. But yeah, any kind of changes in the direction where like Prime revenue is decreased, I guess, like the Prime payouts are decreased in any capacity, is like definitely a little scary. Watch Cutie Noms, you're up. For what? I got nominated for what? What did I get nominated for? Uh-oh. I'm not gonna win it, dude. Let's be for real, okay? What is... Yeah, see, I looked at it. It said El Hassan. First thing, best just chatting streamer. So Hassan, your rage feud is back on. Fuck that commie Hassan. Hassan
and Will
is a terror.
Neff.
Hassan is a terrorist.
My bad.
Oh, that's crazy. Putting me up against Will Neff on the just chatting category? That's insane. Ay, ay, ay. Did we get nominated for best chat? Who are these people?
This is Kai Sinat's second nomination in this show.
Okay.
Why am I here?
Bad for Will's numbers, not gonna lie. Are you kidding me? No. It's not bad for Will's numbers at all. It doesn't even split the vote at all because most people from my community will vote for Will. Like, I won last year, and I don't plan on winning this year, so I will probably lend support to Will Eber Savage Neff as well. Half of my community is already talking about how they're gonna vote for Will. Look at this. I'm voting for Will, and I've been subbed to Hassan for longer. Yeah. See? Hassan is washed. Okay, guys, you know, you're going to hurt my feelings a little bit. Calm down. You're doing the Biden, I'm going to choose a black Supreme Court justice. Wait, what? No, I'm not. I mean, I will push for Will winning. I've won this already. Chatter's mad at Twitter. You talk about the Yakuza game, but never game lately. I did. Throw everyone for a loop and vote and push your vote behind Wubby. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, our goal is to win one of every award. Yeah, we're not winning any awards this year. Okay. I can't beat Mr. Shakedown and Zero. What fighting style should I use? All right. Let's continue with what I was talking about. The polls are in. We think you're too old for the Just Chatting Award. Time to endorse Will. First of all, Will is older than me, so suck my dick. Man, you deserve recognition too. Still though, because you won last year doesn't mean anything. No, I'm not. I'm not planning on winning shit this year. Really, he looks 5 years younger. I hate this so much because chatters know exactly how to tug on my fucking insecurities. And it's like so annoying, especially when like Will leans into it as a joke. And all of you parasocial dumb motherfuckers are doing it in the chat right now. Like, shut the fuck up, please. Oh my God. I can't even like have fun and enjoy, okay? I can't even have fun, celebrate my fucking best friend without you dumb motherfuckers coming in here and being like, I'm the puppet master. You're fucking old. You're so old. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck any of you. Stop negging, okay? Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. We can't even have any fun in here without you motherfuckers turning around and being like, you're so old. You're so old. Yeah, I'm old, dude. I know. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. It's just like, oh God, Twitch is the worst fucking platform. I swear to God, it is the worst platform. It's just like, it's a mental illness factory. There is no platform out there that is better than just like actively trying to fucking mainline genuine mental illness directly to your fucking brain than Twitch, with the way that it like creates profoundly parasocial relationships that only actively try to like hurt the streamer's feelings desperately. No, it literally is worse than TikTok and Twitch and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Let's get to the news. Yeah, it's either you are Wash Lamau or a small bean. We love you, Hostel. I know. All right. Kick beat that by a mile. I mean, Kick is like mentally ill in a different way. Getting older is not even a real insecurity that I have. I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? It's normal. It's more so very frustrating to try to like pin friends together, which is like, it's like mean girl shit. You know what I mean? Like why the fuck is a chat full of fans of both of our both of these communities coming in here and like trying to literally personally put a wedge between two dudes who've known each other for fucking 10 plus years? It's really weird. You know? It was weirdo behavior. Anyway, having said that, yes, aging is easier on men. That is true. Yes, I will be lending my support to Will. I don't foresee myself winning the Just Chatting award. Okay? All right. So overall, I think you say it all the time. All terminally online peeps care about is drama. I know. Overall, good for a lot of streamers that will now be able to generate more revenue, but scary for long-term considerations for the platform, because any kind of Willnet fans are weird. Some of them don't like you. Yeah, I know. It's very odd. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Like, I don't know how we got to that point, but I mean, I'm happy for him because that means that he's like grown and fostered a community that is like just entirely his own. You know what I mean? But I do know that like there are super parasocial fans of mine that used to go into his fucking chat and like yell at him and be like, "You're gonna lose, Hassan, if you keep this up." And now I feel like now I feel like there are fans of his that do the same, like they come in here and do the same to me, which is very odd. You know what I mean? It was gross when like my ultra stands were doing that, and now it's like I mean, it's still gross on the other side. Live streamer fans are legit more parasocial than Kpop fans. Yeah. Onların hepsi geldikleri delikten geldikleri belli, önemseme. Did you see this about DeSantis's wife? No, I did not. Yeah. All right, moving on from Twitch revenue. All right, we're moving away from this. Let's get to less depressing content like Israel Palestine, Joe Rogan, Jujutsu Kaisen fans being too horny, Andrew Schultz flagrant having Andrew Schultz having Vivek Ramaswamy on Accidental Bronson. We're going to click away from that. I don't really care about that as much. And also the Barbie controversy. Okay. Oh, by the way, congratulations to me for getting 1 vote, which is 2 votes less than my uncle did in Nashua Ward 19. That's right, Hank Pecker. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy that in the in this ward in New Hampshire, I got 2 less votes as a meme name than Jenk did. This would be fun for later anime award nominations. That's got to be a real dude somewhere, Law. No, that's definitely a meme. Law, I know Nashua Wells' sister and her husband lived there until a couple of years ago. She might still be registered there. It's also the hometown of Ludwig. Wait, really? Yeah. Also, a thing that I find very interesting is that Joe Biden had a write-in ticket, right? And that write-in campaign was actually backed by like a massive Democratic Party super PAC, which I find real strange that like they did that. Especially because, and I think the Chapo boys and gals were talking about this earlier. It is rather odd that they haven't really campaigned much so far. The branding camp, I mean. And I don't know where that's coming from. They did that because New Hampshire has it in law that they have to have the first primary, but the DNC actually is holding New Hampshire primary in February. It's obviously meant to obfuscate any actual voting dissent in the primary. I just think it's like one vote for Joe Biden. Release Hamas hostages. What the fuck is Joe Biden? What? Joe Biden. Who the fuck? What does that even? What? Someone fucked up the writing. Someone fucked up the writing campaign, dude. They went. They're like, I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. Joe Biden. Most literate person in New Hampshire. Yeah. None of the above. Yeah. It's just like he probably wrote, dude, you're saying shitty handwriting, but like there's extra letters there, chat. I'm sorry, but there's extra letters. I don't think that's shitty handwriting. Okay. But yeah, Hank Pecker, rise up. Hank Pecker, rise up, folks. We're doing it. We're doing it. That's it. I'm announcing it. I'm running. None of the above. Anyone else? Things are not great, but it is funny that like they even put a Hank Pecker in there. I'll celebrate it. Voting is live. Yeah, we'll vote later. We'll vote later. We'll vote later for the streamer awards. We'll do that today. Okay. Where was I? All right, let's get started. I was going to finish the Israel-Palestine proportion of this debate, but I don't know if I have time for that. But yes, let's get started on the New Hampshire primaries first, okay?
GOP presidential nomination. It's getting more personal after the New Hampshire primary. Now, CBS News projects a win for Donald Trump in yesterday's contest against former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. But in her speech last night, Haley said she is not dropping out of this race. Instead, she is vowing to fight on, and she is sharpening her attacks on the former president.
And speaking of attacks, former President Trump gave a victory speech that at times felt angry to some and included some threats threats of investigations, veiled and not so veiled in many people's view, if Nikki Haley does not drop out of this race and soon. We've got team political coverage today, including how the Biden campaign is responding, but we're going to begin with Caitlyn Huey Burns in New Hampshire, where I was just yesterday. Caitlyn, good morning.
Hey, Tony, good morning to you. Well, you got out just before the snow came down here in New Hampshire. It had held off yesterday, which led to record turnout, and independents showed up big, too. But still, it wasn't enough for Nikki Haley to overtake Donald Trump. However, she's vowing to plow on, and this remains, at least for now, a two-person race.
With New Hampshire, it's back-to-back victories for former President Donald Trump as he moves closer to the Republican presidential nomination.
We have to do what's good for our party.
Trump's win in the state, where nearly half of the voters identify as independents, adds to questions about former ambassador.
I think New Hampshire is different. I think New Hampshire is built different. That's it. Like, sure, there's a lot of, I guess, momentum among moderate Republican Party voters or whatever that are looking for anyone but Trump. Okay. But it doesn't yield turnout. There's two things to understand here. One, what does this mean? Like, is this a large enough constituency within the Republican Party that it will hurt their chances in the general? As in, will they turn around and lend their support to Donald Trump and rally around him when he is the candidate? The second question also is that, are there enough Republican voters in the Republican Party in the primaries that actually will go for anybody but Trump? Right? And I don't think that there are, especially in other states, including the state that Nikki Haley was the governor of. The entire state legislature is backing Donald Trump pretty much. Her own state is like, Donald Trump is like a 50-point lead or something. You know what I mean? He has a major lead on Nikki Haley in her own goddamn state. So that's not good. That's not good at all. And even the media, at least like NPR and the like, have started talking about Nikki Haley's campaign as though, you know, when will she drop out? Will she, won't she drop out? When will she drop out? So like, that's also not good for her. None of this looks good for her. So are normie conservatives just fine with Trump now? I've told you guys this already. There's two types of Republican Party voters, okay? People that vote for the Democratic Party, the moderate Republicans, that is, and Trump voters. That's it. The Republican Party is mostly comprised of people who like Trump, but I guess think that he might be a little bit too much of a liability. That's it. There is no reason, and I've been saying this for years, there is virtually no reason for you as a moderate Republican to not vote for the Democratic Party. If you are a moderate Republican, why don't you just vote for the Democratic Party? Like, the Republican Party only offers you one thing that's different than the Democratic Party, and that's just like, you know, more chaotic racism and bigotry. That's it. Like, the idea that it's like guns and stuff is so silly. The Democratic Party can't fucking do anything about guns and will not do anything about guns. So if your whole shtick is that you're like, you want to lower taxes, but you're not like, but you don't want to come across like super racist, then why don't you just vote for the freaking Democratic Party? The switcher is not upside down. That's the design. Anyway.
Ambassador Nikki Haley's path to victory. And Trump spent a majority of his speech last night appearing almost angry as he fixated on his only remaining GOP opponent.
This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. She had a very bad night.
Trump's success in New Hampshire comes down to the strength of his base. According to CBS News exit polls, 80% of Trump's voters described their support as strongly for him, while only 30% of Haley's voters said they strongly favor her. Most of her backers said they were voting for her with some reservations or because they disliked Trump.
New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation.
Still, Haley is vowing to stay in the race, criticizing her 77-year-old rival.
With Donald Trump, you have one bout of chaos after another. This court case, that controversy, this tweet, that senior moment.
While Trump appeared to forecast a bruising campaign against Haley if she stays in the fight, and he leveled baseless accusations.
And just a little note to Nikki. She's not going to win. She's not going to win. But if she did, she would be under investigation by those people in 15 minutes. And so would Ron have been.
Oh, my God. This is so sad. Come on, Tim. Tim, you're a married man now. Have some fucking respect, dog. What are you doing? God damn, dude. Just straight up standing behind him and just trying to be like, I'm here. I got pussy. Guys, I got pussy, by the way. I did get pussy. I don't know if you guys know that, but like, I have a wife now. I'm a wife guy. Yeah, I did get pussy.
But he decided to get out.
But Haley says it's on to her home state of South Carolina.
Every time I've run for office in South Carolina, I've beaten the political establishment.
I did hear Nikki say, and now it's off to South Carolina. Well, I love South Carolina.
And speaking of South Carolina, that contest doesn't happen for another month. But if you live there, get prepared for the ad wars. Nikki Haley's campaign is spending nearly $4 million on ad buys there, and she's headed to South Carolina tonight for a rally in North Charleston.
No, Tim Scott is not VP. It's not happening. Okay? It's just not. You're crazy.
Great senators, which is hard. I mean, did you ever think that?
Tim Scott smiles along as Trump points out that since Nikki Haley appointed him to the Senate and he endorsed Trump, you must really hate her.
She actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No,
God.
it's a.
Yeah, you think so? Chat, what do you think? You think Trump is gonna? That's his VP. You think?
Shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's what.
Come on, dog. Let me tell you something. Question: will you admit you were wrong about Ramaswamy getting a cabinet position because now Trump has him on the campaign? No, I don't think. He hasn't gotten a cabinet position. He's just on the campaign. Okay? And no, I don't believe Trump will give him like the Department of Education. I said at most he will get an appointment to an embassy position that is like a shitty one. That's what I said. You guys were talking about how he's going to be like the Secretary of Education, or he's going to be like, he's going to be in charge of like he's going to be in charge of like a serious. No, he's not even going to be the ambassador to like India. Okay, that's like an important position. Also, admit you were wrong about something that is truly a guess, and is still a guess, by the way, at this point too. Why would I admit that I'm wrong? It hasn't even happened yet. Anyway, and the reason why I am saying what I'm saying about this, you actually and precisely said that he's not even going to get India. Yeah. The reason why I'm saying that is because I hope you guys understand. A lot of those agency positions are oftentimes given to people that have actually demonstrated their bona fides in that specific sector, right? Like you got people that have dedicated their whole lives to basically lobbying the government or getting lobbied and writing legislation that is directly antagonistic to that federal agency. Like those are the people that get propped up, not the Andrew Yangs of the world who are just like one-trick ponies. Okay. I think his background in pharma would be valuable if he was like a Betsy DeVos type and not simply like a Silicon Valley pharma bro that wrote the book on not being woke. Okay? You're giving the Trump administration too much credit? No, I think that agency appointments are not specifically just Donald Trump. Because if that's the case, it's not like Betsy DeVos and Rick Perry and the like that's getting all of those positions. Those are who you put. Like those are who you put in those positions that the people that you put in those positions are people that have shown that they are worth being put in those positions. With the exception of Ben Carson. Like HUD was more like, token black guy, urban, that's it. I didn't say Ken Carson. What are you talking about? I said Ben Carson. So, yeah. A lot of like it's like thinking Trump is actually hand selecting the Supreme Court justices when they're not. Those are handpicked by the Federalist Society. and obviously Donald Trump recognizes who's greasing the wheels here. Does that make sense? So that's my speculation on why I think it's not going to happen for Vivek. He's definitely not getting VP. I don't think. That would be fucking insane. Okay. I still think that his VP pick will have to be someone that's like at least gotten the Koch nod, the Koch brother nod, like the old school Republican Party donor. Old school Republican Party super PAC donor guy says this is our guy, so he can present that person for like stability's sake, and also obviously someone from a state that is maybe contested or close, right? So you can pick up some votes. Like Mike Pence gave Donald Trump the evangelical base of support, because Mike Pence at the time was popular with evangelicals, certainly, but like Donald Trump was still more popular with evangelicals, but at least like, the real reason why Mike Pence was brought in wasn't the evangelical Christians, but it was actually because he was a Koch guy. Mike Pence being brought in as the VP was a way to tell the Koch guys, like, hey, no, like, don't worry, I'm gonna be normal, okay? Don't worry, I got you. You'll have. Pence didn't do anything for the Koch. No, it doesn't matter. You're misunderstanding. It's basically a nod to the other side of the Republican Party mega donors that the Republican Party mega donors that like he's with them, right? See, okay, this is a good one. Rick Perry couldn't even remember the name of the Department of Energy when asked if which departments he wants to eliminate, and he became the head of the Department of Energy under Trump. Dumbasses can get those positions, but they need to be in some conservative recommendation list. Exactly. That's the thing. Rick Perry is a longtime conservative Republican politician. He has all of the industry connects. It's a direct open door for the Department of Energy for whichever kind of like, whichever kind of Republican Party, backing like fossil fuel giant wants to go into the Department of Energy and be like, fix this shit. Okay. Can we do a theory reading stream on Trump's book? What? The Kid's Guide to President Trump? Yeah, no, we're not touching that.
Why he's a great politician. Two great senators.
So that's it. Ramaswamy is like a new guy. He's a new guy that rose to power because he has like good instincts, such as sucking up to Donald Trump, but also very bad instincts, such as being an annoying debate lord and like being one of those nerds that has like a unique take on, has like a really weird and unique take on foreign policy, beyond him being like, brown and having the white evangelical base consider him to be a heretic or even worse, a Muslim, right? He also was like lame as hell. He was very like he was sucking up to Donald Trump, but also simultaneously he was just like very like his ideas were really nerdy. Like the woke, I'm constantly gonna fucking attack wokeness, and that's what I'm trying to kill here, the wokeness. That's like too internet for the regular Republicans in general. Does that make sense? He's too much of a tryhard. I don't know. I see the future of Ramaswamy not in the Trump cabinet, but like an Andrew Yang type person. He'll be like maybe kind of a media guy. This is what the better say. Okay, let's see. So right now, Elise Stefanik, Kristi Noem, Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Carrie Lake, Byron Donalds, and Ron DeSantis. Okay, I'll tell you right now, definitely no Ron DeSantis. No to Byron Donalds. No to Carrie Lake. Byron Donalds doesn't give you anything. Like, this is nothing. He's a freshman congressperson from Florida that's like anti-Ron DeSantis and pro-Trump. That doesn't do anything for him, right? Ron DeSantis is a no as well. Obviously, again, for almost the same reasons, he doesn't offer anything, and he's also incredibly uncharismatic. Carrie Lake is a loser, too toxic, too much stink on her, so no shot. Okay? No. Donald Trump wants to win, folks. If you're gonna be associated with the campaign, you have to have someone that at least like offers something, anything. Okay? She's a permanent loser. She doesn't bring in any new votes. She's a fucking loser. Can't even win in Arizona. And overall is just like way too obsessed with like QAnon conspiracies, and that Donald Trump already has the QAnon base. He now has to bring in the other normal Republicans and maybe some of the white women that are scared of the abortion shit. Okay. Which is why I think having a female VP would be a good move for the Trump campaign. Okay? Which is why I think Nikki Haley doesn't look too bad. The only issue with Nikki Haley is that she doesn't really bring anything because Donald Trump's already defeating her in South Carolina right now. People of South Carolina like Nikki less than they like Donald Trump. Okay? Vivek Ramaswamy, absolute fuck no, no shot in a million years. His last name is Ramaswamy. That's not happening. I'm sorry. Your last name gets put next to Trump's last name on the fucking campaign placards. It is not going to be Ramaswamy, okay? It's just not. That's like the easiest way to eliminate him from the pool. Tim Scott, I don't think is a real likelihood either, mostly because, again, what is his offering? I don't think he offers much, even though I guess he gives like stability and institutional Republicans, but he's like not even remotely like he's not like an entity. He's not a known entity at all. I guess, I mean, he's been around for a while, but definitely not choosing Mike Pence again. I don't even think that he's on here. Robert Kennedy would be the fucking crazy pick, and I'm on board with that one. I think that'd be wild. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for the Unity pick, folks. That's who I'm betting on. So, Kristi Noem and Elisa Stefanik are actually the top picks, understandably. Kristi Noem being the highest likelihood, and Elisa Stefanik being... Kristi Noem being the highest likelihood, Elisa Stefanik being the second highest likelihood, but the only reason why she's actually risen in the polls, I don't think it's going to be Stefanik either, by the way. But the reason why she rose in the polls is because fucking Sebastian Gorka was like, it's going to be someone from New York. Okay. Elisa Stefanik is just like kind of riding the wave of like yelling at Claudia Gay or whatever. She's having a bit of a moment right now, but overall, not a very serious player. You know what I mean? George Santos is a meme. Come on, guys. But it would be really funny. It would be really funny. I don't know. Don't think Trump Donalds would do best just because it sounds funny. No. I mean, the Trump Santos ticket would be memes, okay? Like, Lord God, I don't ask for much, but a Trump Santos ticket where Donald kicks it in the first week of taking the office would be the funniest fucking thing to ever happen in the history of these United States. Yeah. I just don't think that Trump is going after a gay Hispanic man who has been outed as like a serial con man. You know what I mean? Trump already is, well, not Hispanic, but like very gay coded. Trump is one of the most queer coded presidents we've ever had. Okay. That's number one. Number two, he's already a fucking con man riddled to the brim with controversy. Like, George Santos doesn't offer anything. You know what I mean? What does Noam bring in other than being a woman? South Dakota is red, and she isn't known for doing much other than keeping the state open during COVID. It's the same as like a solid Republican, right? Having a solid Republican that's a woman. Why do you lie yourself like this? In what respect am I lying? That at the top of the hour there isn't a 3-minute ad break? If that's what you're talking about, then yeah, I am lying to myself and lying to you guys as well, which you can of course avoid by subscribing. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. A flashy VP pick can only hurt him. He will pick a nobody like Zeldin. No, I don't think so. I mean, Lee Zeldin is also a non-entity. It's like two. And Trump is already like locked down on New York Republicans and also Florida Republicans. You know what I mean? Lee Zeldin is ridiculous. I feel like Lee Zeldin is not a good choice at all. It would be very odd. I think he needs a woman. I'm not kidding when I say I think a Nikki Haley VP pick would be kind of a wild situation. Pence was a non-entity. Yes, but Pence gave stability. Pence showed stability. He was the stability pick. So there's a balance within your VP pick, right? Your VP is supposed to, just for the election and nothing else, really. They don't do fuck all, right? What you're trying to go for is like, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Who balances you out well? And Michael Pence was brought in because like he's solid with evangelicals, which Trump already was solid with anyway. But beyond that, it was more so for stability, right? Pence, not too aggressive, not too flashy, and is like a old school, die in the wool right-wing guy who is like a coke-backed entity, right? That's a solid pick. Here, how the Kochs are using Mike Pence to shape Trump's White House. 3 key takeaways from the New Yorker's Pence profile. This was in 2017. The power struggle between populist hardliners and moderate generals in the Trump White House is well documented. Vice President Mike Pence has largely stayed out of the drama while quietly becoming one of the most powerful people in the Trump administration, according to a new profile. Donald Trump doesn't want to fucking manage. He doesn't want to do the actual president shit. This is why I'm saying those picks for like agencies and like cabinet appointments and stuff is going to come from someone who's just going to quietly do the bidding of the institutional Republicans. You think Donald Trump personally gives a fuck about cabinet appointments? He will move in on certain cabinet appointments if they annoy him, right? If someone like pisses him off, he's going to be like, all right, fuck you. I'm going to put someone I don't like you anymore, right? Trump once joked about Pence wanting to hang gay people. Pence showed stability, but that turned out to fuck Trump over at the end. I don't think Trump gives a shit about stability now. He's rooted out everyone in his circles who didn't support him on 1-6. No, he needs a guy that will still offer some loyalty to Donald Trump, but then also simultaneously will still, quiet down the Kochs, because you need the Kochs. And I use Koch as a placeholder in this situation. Okay. These are one of the many Republican mega donors that are like institutional Republican, Republican Party defenders that don't just individually dump like a couple $1 billion across many, many decades into the Republican Party. These are the guys who maintain the infrastructure of the Republican Party. Okay. We're talking all of the organizations from like Turning Point USA and the ones that you know about, all the way down to like the American Enterprise Institute. Do you understand? Like the very important think tanks that play a gigantic role in writing the legislation, justifying it through the media, both on liberal outlets and also obviously Fox News and whatnot, but also astroturfing campaigns. We only see like the ones that get a lot of play in the media, like the NRA or PragerU or Turning Point USA and shit like that. But it's so much deeper than that. The tentacles are all over. It goes way beyond that, right? So, like, Trump had the Mercer backing, and he had like some populist, crazy right-wing guys that early on, early on, Trump had the backing of course, some shadowy billionaires. You have to have that. There's no way you're making it out the cut without that. But beyond that, he needs like the entirety of ALEC. Thank you. That's a great one. ALEC is a perfect example of an organization that very quietly is manipulating the conversation and changing legislation on a daily fucking basis. Trump needs Trump rallies will benefit greatly from having those organizations who then also do astroturfing, right? Astroturfing that will turn around and bus people to his protests and things like that. So that's important. That's definitely very important for him. So I think Donald will look for a person that will be first and foremost loyal to him, but also not just loyal to him, but has like enough bearing in the Republican Party and enough history with the Republican Party that like those institutions will still be confident in backing him and aren't simply backing him because they're forced to, if that makes sense. What is the actual benefit of astroturfing support? Are you kidding me? Astroturfing was the opposite of the grassroots movement, correct? Yes. Astroturfing is when you fake a grassroots movement by mobilizing, basically mobilizing people by paying them to go out to protest and make it seem like there is just genuine momentum. Most right-wing ideas are born out of astroturfing. The Tea Party, for example, is literally a Koch brothers project. Koch brother now, but it was a Koch brothers project. Like they single-handedly created this like wing of the Republican Party, got people elected to this Republican Party that almost entirely dedicate themselves to gutting the power of the legislative body and destroying our institutions across the board like that. And they're doing it at the behest of obviously corporate benefits, corporate profit margins. Yeah. And they pretended they were grassroots funded campaign. Exactly. Most conservative movements you ever see in public are astroturfed. Yeah, except for like really gross ones. But even those are actually astroturfed. Like all of the, here's an example. All of the fucking anti-abortion movements, every single one of them is bought by psychopathic white evangelical weirdos and the lawyers that they hire that basically have like their entire life dedicated to making abortion illegal. Okay? Like those guys get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to go and like fight every step of the way to ensure that the Republican Party's ultimately incredibly unpopular goals are getting pushed through. Right? Some to remember, some to consider. Anyway, in a lot of instances, they will also take something that is like that is building organically. They'll take something that's building organically and will heavily lean into it so they can personally make it a much larger thing and tie it back to the Republican Party's other agenda items, like charter schools and private schools and the abolition of like the Department of Education or the abolition or the destruction of public schools in general. That's a major Republican Party goal, right? So if you remember, at the time, I used to talk about QAnon rallies. During these QAnon rallies, okay, during these QAnon rallies, what would these guys push for? They would go to the QAnon rallies and they would have like Republicans running for local office talk about school choice. The fuck does school choice have to do with QAnon? But they would find a way to do it. One way to tie the QAnon crazies to the school choice narrative is by pushing for, trans agendas at schools. That's a good way to like tie both of them together. The ultimate material goal there is to undermine public education, ruin public education, cripple it, take away its funding, and obviously like abolish the remainder of the labor unions that still exist in that field, and go for unaccountable, ridiculous private schools that are all like religious, or push for homeschooling, make the population dumber, and destroy social cohesion that comes along with public education at the behest of a larger right-wing fascist project, right? Anyway.
Tony?
Not
Lots
good.
of money being spent. Caitlyn, thank you very much. Let's go to Chief Election and Campaign Correspondent Robert Costa. Bob, good morning to you. When we were speaking yesterday, you said Nikki Haley needed single digits to convince donors to give her the money to stay in this race for the long term. Looks like she's in double digits behind Donald Trump. Is that enough?
Good morning, Tony. As Caitlyn just said, there's a month between now and the South Carolina Republican primary. And in politics, a month can be a lifetime. Based on my conversations last night with top Haley allies, they're going to spend the coming days trying to figure out, is the money there? Is the momentum there? Meeting with donors, meeting with campaign officials in these further voting states, not only in South Carolina, but on Super Tuesday in early March.
So what are you hearing, Bob, about the Trump strategy going forward? He took a lot of personal pot shots at her last night.
Oh, Gail, you are so right. We are now not just in a political campaign. We are in a season of political war. Look for a barrage of attacks on the airwaves, on social media from former President Donald Trump and from many members of the Republican Party. They are going to start coming out with more endorsements in the coming days, pressuring Haley to get out of the race and say it's time to coalesce around Trump.
Bob, Nikki Haley's talking about chaos on the Trump side. He's got all these legal entanglements. But so far, unless I'm missing something, it seems to be helping him, not hurting him. What's your read on that?
The key there is what you just said, Tony, so far. Right now, Trump campaign officials believe all of this on the legal front is helping Trump. It's stoking the grievances of his supporters. It's helping him generate momentum in this Republican race. At the same time, what's notable is behind this.
No one on earth has benefited more from Trump's presidency than George W. Bush. No. I mean, that's definitely a good take. But I think that the Democratic Party certainly has benefited tremendously by being like a feckless, neutered institution that, got a shit ton of donations in that process. I think that the media greatly benefited from Donald Trump's presidency. You know what I mean? Rich people loved it too. Like, it really got people interested and invested in politics, even if it was like shallow overall.
The scenes, many Republicans are telling me they're concerned about what's on the horizon. If Trump's the nominee and then he's in court all of the time, even during the Republican convention, facing a trial on January 6th, classified records and so many other things, that could be a drag on the entire Republican ticket.
All right, Bob Costa, thank you very much.
Get more now from our Chief Washington Correspondent, John Carl, Chief White House Correspondent, Mary Bruce. I watched Rick go through the map right there, John. But Nikki Haley, it's hard to see a path towards any kind of nomination for her at this point.
Look, New Hampshire was the state where she was best positioned to win. Of all states, she came in second. She wanted to come in second in Iowa, and she wanted to win in New Hampshire to propel her to what still would have been an uphill battle against Trump. Instead, third in Iowa, she loses a two-person race in New Hampshire. But George, it's not over. I mean, we should keep in mind what Rick said at the beginning. Only two small states have voted. She goes to her home state where, true, Trump is even more popular there than he was in New Hampshire or Iowa.
And her home state senator.
People are still not realizing how anti-Trump the Democratic Party is going to be if Trump wins again. It's literally going to be the American version of Peronism. What? That's wild. I think that the Democratic Party loves being in a position where they can't do anything. They still have asses in the seats, right? So they have like some semblance of like aesthetic institutional power, but then they also can't really do anything because Trump is there to veto it, right? So I think that Donald Trump winning the presidency is so good for liberals in general. It's so fucking good. They can pretend like they are radical revolutionary figures who legitimately want to save America. They can get a shit ton of support because nobody galvanizes and unites the base like a good figurehead that pisses everybody off. Okay? That's what I mean. It's going to be the anti-Trump party and nothing else for years to come. Yeah, I think that's precisely what happened under the Trump administration, and they will keep pushing for it. They can scream at leftists again, too, which they love, instead of accepting that a genocide lost them the election. I don't think that it's necessarily the Israel-Palestine stuff that, unless it comes down to like just Michigan or something, I don't think that it's going to be Israel-Palestine that makes this election or breaks this election. Because the people that do vote are not, they don't give a shit. The people that do end up voting, they don't give a shit. Now, could you make an argument that you could probably get more people on board that there is not COVID? You're saying the same thing Lib said in 2016? Wait, what? What have I said so far? Record number of Zoomers came out for Biden in 2020, so I don't know what you mean. Beautiful analysis. Couple reasons, okay? They wanted Trump out. Secondly, there was a lot more availability, like the way that you can vote. And also record number of turnout for Trump too. Something to also remember on that front. Okay. Trump being unpopular will motivate the base enough. What do you mean? I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying at all. The major issue right now, okay, here's the major issue right now with the demographics. Okay. Currently, with the way that the demographics work, is that all of those constituencies that voted for Biden that are not always like going to be there, like younger voters, for example, are actually very much not interested in voting this time around. This is a big weakness for the Biden campaign, one that they've been able to, at least on the polling, overcome by picking up a lot of the suburban, moderate Republican voters, the educated white voters that would otherwise, that vote in large numbers, obviously, and would otherwise vote for the Republicans, but have realized like, oh, well, you know, some of them are too stinky. Inside of this faction, you have white women specifically that do care, or even white, educated, otherwise Republican voters in the suburbs that do care about abortion. They have daughters. They give a shit about it. They think that it's like too much. Okay. And the other bases of support, the other areas that Biden can draw from, like the youth vote, which doesn't vote in large numbers at all, okay, in comparison to other demographics, older demographics. But when it does, will usually consistently and reliably vote for the Democratic Party, are not actually, they're not actually interested in voting at all. There's like I think it's like there's 17% or something, I remember from earlier polls that I was looking at, that are still not sure whether they would vote for Biden again or not. This was a couple months ago, so obviously things might have changed since then, and things certainly will change as the election gets closer and closer. But there's definitely, I think, a lot of youth voters, for example, that are absolutely tapping out almost entirely because of Gaza, and not even remotely interested in being activated. Does that make sense?
Tim Scott is endorsing Donald Trump
Well,
there.
both home state senators and everybody in the congressional delegation, except for one member of Congress, the governor, they're all with Trump. But let's not forget, she got elected governor twice there. She was a popular governor, got reelected overwhelmingly. This is not over.
To be honest, I think if Trump talked politely and acted more like in his old school TV days, The Apprentice, not WWE, most Democrats would probably vote for him and he'd be seen as a good president by the average normie. I mean, Nikki Haley is like literally what you're describing. And yes, Nikki Haley beats Biden with a higher margin than Trump does. Nikki Haley literally beats Biden with a way higher margin than Donald Trump, almost doubling Trump's margin. And another thing that you have to remember is that, like, Democrats, given the way that the Electoral College works, I think, given the way that, like, Democratic votes are not based on land, but instead by population, Democrats have to, like, beat the Republicans by at least, like, 3 to 5 percentage points on the popular vote. So if you look at the popular vote percentages and you see that, like, Nikki Haley's actually beating Biden by like fucking 6 points in certain polls, and Trump is beating Biden by like 2 points. That's a massive fucking failure overall.
Over two
But
small
are
states.
you actually convinced she's going to stay in through South Carolina?
Look, she's the only one left. She has the money, she has the resources, she has a candidate that she's running against in Donald Trump who is volatile, under investigation and all that. And look at his speech last night. It was vindictive, angry, threatening. And it continued after he was done speaking. He went on social media complaining about Fox News.
No, that's a huge conclusion so early in the race. I agree. Any kind of polling that you look at right now is silly. Also, Nikki Haley's not going to win the primaries regardless unless something like insane happens and Trump dies or whatever. You know what I mean? So obviously, this is pure hypothetical this early on. I'm not fucking saying that, like, I'm not saying that is a guarantee at all. I'm just simply reporting on what the polls are saying.
He was attacking his former press
means
secretary, Kayleigh
for
McEnany.
now.
He is a volatile candidate. I think that there will be pressure on her to drop out, but there will also
She
be
hangs in
donors
just to see
who
what
want to
happens.
stay in just because you don't know what's going to happen with him.
Is this truly the candidate that Joe Biden wants?
Look, the overarching message from the White House and the president's campaign is that Joe Biden beat Donald Trump before and he can beat him again. And this morning, the message coming out of the Biden campaign is game on. They are very clearly gearing up for a general election. I mean, the president in a statement last night said flatly, Donald Trump.
Yeah, they're gearing for the general election is so fucking stupid. One, they have not activated at all. Like, I feel like they are unironically asleep at the wheel. Finally, they're campaigning. Okay, finally. And they're pushing defend choice. Of course they're going to push that. Thank God. Holy shit. The fact that, I mean, this election is going to be won or lost on abortion. That's it. That is the main issue, okay? People will say, oh, inflation is a problem, blah, blah, blah. By the time the election comes around, unless OPEC Plus 100% lends full-blown support behind Donald Trump and does something incredible that greatly explodes oil prices and inflation skyrockets once again as a consequence of how expensive oil is, and Brandon can't turn it around and normalize the prices with his like reserve fuel or whatever. Without that, the economy I don't think will be as big as a player in this election. Major point of contention is abortion. It's a huge deal. People haven't forgotten. People want to punish Donald Trump. Donald Trump did that. Okay? Can Democrats really win this by abortion talking points alone? If it wasn't Biden, if it was a more dynamic candidate, yes. Like by incredible numbers, actually. Not even close. Like it would be like Ronald Reagan decisive victory, but in the other direction. No, I'm not even joking on this. You're crazy. Any guy that is like a little bit younger, any person that was like younger and more dynamic right now would be going nutty mode with abortion, saying I'm going to protect and enshrine protections for abortion and access to medical care in general would be a massive benefit. The fact that Biden can still win on that, I think, is enough proof for me, at least, that it's a totally prescient point that Americans do care about.
Trump is going to be the GOP nominee. And he says our very democracy is at stake here. And he made a direct appeal to those key independents and Republican voters who don't support Trump to go ahead and join his fight. And George is also changing up his campaign structure. He is now dispatching two of his top White House aides who helped run his 2020 campaign, sending them over to help manage his reelection. And perhaps the clearest sign yet that he's changing gears, Biden himself is ramping up his direct attacks on Trump. He called him out 14 times in his speech yesterday.
And John, if you look at the results last night, you basically had two incumbents. On the Republican side, Donald Trump.
Biden hasn't done anything for abortion in his term yet. It don't matter. 3 Supreme Court justices that Trump put in power literally lied to the American population and destroyed abortion protections is Jover. That will forever be stinky. That stink doesn't go away. Isn't that what is worrying, though? Because we care about weed incarcerations, but that is always used to pander to the base when they need help like now? I'm confused about what you mean. I love that the Democrats' major focus is independents and Republicans. Yeah, well, if I'm being really real, that's easy mode. The reason why Democrats' main focus is independents and Republicans is because those are the motherfuckers who vote. Okay? If outsiders voted all the goddamn time, if young people voted, if outsiders voted, and they were like a serious voting constituency, and they were able to like overcome the hurdles that they have in front of like voting, which, you know, especially for young people, there's plenty of hurdles. Work, school, not being in the same zip code where you're actually like supposed to be at the time during the time of voting. If you overcame all those hurdles and they became like an active, valid, and not caring as well, but if you became an active, valid voting bloc that lent support to candidates that are truly popular and are actually beloved, like Bernie Sanders, okay, then there would be a different dynamic. There'd be a different equation. The reality is this is the worst group of people to talk to about this because you guys are all going to vote. A lot of you LARP and say, oh, I'm not going to vote. I'm a Maoist third world. Just shut the fuck up. You're all the overwhelming majority of Americans in this chat that are under the age of like 35 are still going to go out and vote. You say nope right now, but you're inevitably going to go out and vote, and you should anyway. You're very active. You're very interested in politics. You're very abnormal that way. The majority of Americans in your age demographic don't give a fuck. Okay? They don't care. If they did, Bernie Sanders would have absolutely crushed. Okay? You think they didn't try? They did. They tried to beef up a voter turnout. The strategy for Bernie Sanders was, we're going to get the people that don't vote. Okay? We're going to get the people that don't vote normally, that are going to come out and vote, the disenfranchised Americans. And turns out it's not enough. You know who goes out and votes? Old people, rich people, reliable voters that vote year over year, that fucking watch MSNBC, watch CNN, and watch Fox News. Okay? So that's the point. So that's why the Democratic Party's like, yeah, fuck those guys. I don't give a shit. They're not going to vote anyway. Let's look at the increasingly shrinking population of voters that do go out and vote all the time, and let's try to win them over. It's like, it's literally because boomers are such a large plurality, dude. Stop blaming the youth. I mean, overall, I'm not blaming the youth at all. I'm just simply stating that Bernie Sanders' outreach strategy was not good for the primaries. Primaries were dominated by the older population. The population of reliable voters. It's just true. It's not like, oh, y'all are too lazy to go out and vote. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I will never punish voters for not going out and voting. I think the responsible party in the situation is always the actual parties that don't do enough for outreach, that don't get people to want to go out and vote for something, that don't demonstrate to the non-voter population, okay, which is still the plurality, I think with the exception of this last election, all right? The plurality of the American voter-eligible population are non-voters, okay? That's a massive chunk of the population. How do you get them active? They're just sitting there, waiting. Bernie failed on that. You know? I phone banged for Bernie, and what hurt him a lot was people saying he was my vote in November, not understanding that they needed to vote for him in the primaries. A lot of young people that I talked to didn't know primaries were a thing. Yes, primaries are dominated by the largest party loyalists, and there's a reason for that, obviously. And even beyond the actual democratic process within the primaries, there's also, the fact that the DNC doesn't actually have to go with a democratic process when they're picking who their candidate is. They have actually defended the undemocratic process in courts successfully. They don't have to do that. It's a private institution. Anyway, so didn't work that time. Doesn't mean it won't work with someone different. I'm simply stating that there is a multitude of different reasons as to why a lot of people don't vote. One of the most important ones is the fact that they believe that their vote doesn't count and it doesn't matter. And in many instances, it kind of doesn't matter at all. It's true, because the reliable voters in like deep blue states are always going to go out and vote. The reliable voters in deep red states are always going to go out and vote in quantities that like it literally makes it feel like your vote doesn't count. If you're in a deep blue state or a deep red state, either way, it doesn't matter. Okay? So that is true. That is the reason why a lot of people are just like, who gives a fuck? Okay? Yeah, voting matters in like a couple swing states. Okay? And even then, you have to just spend a lot of time and effort and successfully campaign in a couple of those blue states. So I think that that's one reason why people don't vote. The other reason is because voting is not easy. It's confusing. There's no compulsory voting. It's not done on a federal holiday. It's insane. Like, imagine neither party does shit for you and you work a fucking 9 to 5. Why would you wake up early to go out and like make sure that you are a part of the voter rolls, okay? That you haven't been purged from the voter rolls. Figure out exactly what polling station you're voting at. And also the entire process of like where you can vote and how you can vote is very different, and it varies greatly from state by state. Like, it's all a very confusing process. Anyone who's ever voted can tell you that. Unless you're in one of those like suburbs where it's actually very streamlined and very easy for you. For the most part, it's not an easy process at all. not an intuitive process at all. You know? So why would you take time out when you feel like your voice doesn't matter because you're in a deep red state or a deep blue state, and then beyond that, you're sitting around and going to vote for like a guy that you don't think has your best interest at heart? It's not going to happen. Washington mails us ballots, and I walk a block to drop it in a drop box. Yeah. So that's why I love living in Colorado. 100% mail-in voting, and we get our ballot weeks in advance and have tons of time to study every candidate, amendment, ballot initiative, etc. Yeah, I love when people say, for the record, I love when people say like, "Oh, there's so many people in here that don't vote." Like, dude, look, that is the average Hasanabi watcher. Okay. Dude who loves to fucking vote. Why else would you be watching politics? Doesn't matter if you don't vote for the president or not. You're invested. You're interested. Okay. Many people in the age demographics that we're in are not interested or invested at all. Especially when it's an election cycle that's boring as fuck because it's one between 99% Hitler versus 100% Hitler, and they're both geriatric and they're both like chaotic. And they're both boring in different ways. It's a repeat of 2020. And there's no COVID. It sucks. Sorry, broski, there's a genocide going on. Yeah, nobody cares about that, by the way, either. So, if we're talking about voting or the American population, the American voter population and their interests on it, they don't give a fuck. Anyway, this is also funny, though. If you're politically aware and don't participate in elections, you do not matter. You unironically Roblox yourself. Not really. Anyway, then why is Brandon so low lately? What do you mean? I'm from Hawaii. Our vote truly doesn't matter. We have fully mail-in ballots, and I still vote. Deep blue state. I live in Texas, and I worked elections since I was 18. And 2018 was my first year I was able to vote, and I campaigned for Beto, and I met him, and I was so convinced he was going to win. It was so disappointing when he didn't. But I think that's when I educated myself and became a socialist. Yeah, there's a lot of people like you in the Beto campaign that were like shocked when Beto revealed his own personal interests. I'm guessing the pandering is going to be at an all-time high this election. No, I think you're wrong. Judging by where we're at in the electoral cycle right now, and how little pandering that the Biden camp has done, it's going to be an all-time low. I don't know a single damn thing we're in the election cycle. Primaries have started. I don't know a single position of Joe Biden's. Not one position. I don't know the talking points. I haven't heard a single argument as to why you have to vote for Joe. I don't know a single damn thing. What's his platform? Why are we supposed to be voting for him? He's not even saying the lame shit that he did last time. Like, I'm here to restore the soul of the nation, Jack. Fascism is coming, and I got to stop it. I'm the only man who can stop it. He hasn't even done that. He hasn't even been like, I'm not Trump. That's the crazy part. You guys are saying, well, he's not Trump. He's not even communicating that. That would be at least communicating a coherent narrative on the campaign. There is no coherent narrative on the campaign. Guys, that's crazy. You have to understand. That is absolutely insane. He just started doing rallies like yesterday. Okay? He just started doing rallies like this week. I can't even find an issue section on his website. That's awesome. There's no issue section on his website? January 6th, abortion.
Freedom. Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
Abortion, gay rights.
Nothing more sacred. That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security.
Okay, signaling that, like, Republicans vote for me, don't vote for the MAGA extremists, okay? Independents and moderates.
That you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
It's kind of funny that he didn't do any of these things, by the way. Like, that's besides the point, because the bar is in hell that, like, what are the issues? Like, what are the vibes of the campaign? We finally have, we're finally seeing, like, how the campaign is going to structure itself. What are the issues it's going to care about and what the vibes are going to look like. But if we get to the point where it's like, what has he done to defend those issues? Not great.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question...
Yeah. Remember, exactly what I ran for 4 years ago. We're still doing that. It's like Trump being like, make America great again. Dude, incumbent campaigns are awesome. It's always so fun. It's just like, let's run it back again. Sorry, I just wanted to look at my little cutie pie. Hi. She's so pretty. Such a little baby.
We're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent.
The other chatter, earlier was asking why Biden's approval ratings are down if voters don't care about Gaza. Biden's approval ratings are down because he's 7,000 years old. People have seen a depreciation of their quality of life and a negative real wage growth for at least almost 2 of the years of the Brandon regime. Okay, that's not going to go away that easily. Obviously, the economy is experiencing the soft landing that the Brandon camp correctly pointed to. Okay, we're in the process of that soft landing, but you're not going to forget the other shit. You're not going to forget half of the fucking. You're not going to forget the half of the Brandon regime where your life sucked dick. Okay, so those are the reasons why his approval ratings are low. Okay. His approval ratings have been low. You're talking about like before the ethnic cleansing campaign that he lent full support to. Okay, before Israel and before October 7, before October 8, there were polls coming out before the primary season officially launched where 75% of the Democratic Party's voters wanted a different candidate. There was a poll that showed that an unnamed generic Democrat would outperform Biden by 18 points. 18 points. The Democratic Party ethos is strong. Okay, literally meaningless poll, dude. Come on, that's not meaningless at all. 75% of the Democratic Party saying that they want a different candidate is meaningless. Like, that's 3 months ago. You're hyper-focusing on the unnamed generic Democrat without seeing the point. The point I'm making is that the Democratic Party's own voters wanted fresh blood. I don't know what to tell you. Then be the fresh blood? Thanks. Yeah, I'll be the fresh blood. You got it.
Damn, this guy's good.